delayed disbursement of equitable share and conditional grants by National Treasury, and now the raging of pandemics. The Oxygen Ecosystem grants supported by Global Fund address various health system gaps, which is a step in the right direction. We therefore have drawn lessons from the implementation of this grant, which include the need to improve coordination in the planning, design and implementation of the project. There is also urgent need for formulation of norms and standards for infrastructure and equipment, as well as strengthening procurement and project implementation processes for effectiveness, efficiency, and overall value for money. By addressing these areas, far much more reaching success will be celebrated. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that Kenya is currently in the process of developing the next phase of Global Fund grant. As county governments, we would like to once again propose that the grant have a mechanism where National Treasury sub-grants implementation funding to county governments. This is a request we have put on the table before the Global Fund, the Ministry of Health, and the Treasury to consider, but has not yet been honored in previous grants. Direct grant funding to county governments will go a long way in enhancing service delivery and building sustainability, especially at this point in time when donor funding is reducing. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, allow me to confirm that county governments are ready to receive these oxygen cylinders and remain fully committed to providing the highest quality of health services. I thank you all. Thank you.
Please give Her Excellency another round of applause for that commitment is given on behalf of the other governors. Your Excellency, at this particular juncture, just allow me to welcome our able Cabinet Secretary to invite you on stage.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you very much for accepting to flag off the cylinders today. Your Excellency, pre-COVID, our public health infrastructure for oxygen was suboptimal. And Your Excellency, COVID exposed our nakedness in terms of oxygen infrastructure. And I really want to thank Global Fund very sincerely through their implementing partner AMREF that has today given us the total ecosystem. And I want to thank AMREF for thinking this through, that you are not just giving us cylinders, but you have thought about the end-to-end need in terms of oxygen, that we are going to have the plants, the oxygen plants, that we are going to have the oxygen tanks, and finally to have the cylinders. So I really want to thank you, Emre, for that. Your Excellency, we are now in the phase of implementing our universal health coverage that we promised in our manifesto. And I want to thank you, Your Excellency, for the guidance that you have given us so far. And we are now in the assessment stage, where we are assessing the infrastructure of health throughout the country. And I want to thank Global Fund again, because now when we go to do our assessment for the infrastructure for oxygen, we are going to tick that box, because today we have seen the cylinders. Your Excellency, I want to thank you very much, and I want to assure you that we are on course in implementing our universal health coverage through the pillars that we have identified. And we are in discussion with the Council of Governors, and we have agreed that moving forward, this process shall be consultative, and we are going to reach out to them so that we ensure that in implementing this, it does not fail the third time. It is now my humble duty to invite you, Your Excellency, the President, to come and flag off the 20,620 oxygen cylinders. Thank you very much, and welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Minister, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome my colleagues, governors from our counties. Karibuni sana. Thank you for responding to our invitation, together with the Global Fund and AMREF, our partners, who, because of their effort and the partnership that exists between the Government of Kenya and these global players, we have this function today, a very important function. Let me recognize the Chair of the Council of Governors, the Chair of the Health Committee of the Council of Governors, Mr. Lyndon Morrison, our good friend from the Global Fund, Dr. KISII Kitahi, again, thank you for your wonderful speech. The Kenya Coordinating Mechanism members, governors who are present here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. This afternoon, we are engaged in a very important event that is of utmost importance and significance for a number of critical reasons. The most important is, of course, the fact that every intervention in the provision of healthcare to the people of Kenya is of fundamental importance to the government and the people of Kenya. Our commitment goes beyond the traditional delivery of health services as a public good. The provision of universal health comes out of the recognition of the singular opportunity to intervene radically and make healthcare inclusive, accessible, affordable, and of very good standard. A healthy nation is a foundational constitutional expectation, and the right to the highest attainable standards of health is an entitlement of every citizen. Further, low access and inadequate access to health care facilities due to inadequate infrastructure and high costs has subjected many people to great suffering. Frequent illness deprives many people of the ability to fully pursue the opportunities of life, including education and gainful employment, and even leads to loss of life in some cases. Medical expenditure is also a notorious driver of poverty, robbing countless households of incomes and savings. Our universal health care commitment is therefore an integral component of the bottom-up transformation agenda. This agenda is radical because it commits to deliver bold and ambitious undertakings in the face of economic and geopolitical challenges in the context of the post-pandemic recovery. Consequently, it has become imperative to augment traditional governance with innovation and a strong measure of imagination for service delivery to meet the needs of a new but also a difficult moment. To achieve our transformational ambitions under the constraints of limited resources, we have opened up funding mechanisms and delivery frameworks to accommodate the participation of various partners, including private investors, development partners, multilateral agencies, and non-profit organizations, as well as civil society. The involvement, for example, of the Global Fund and our friends in our private partnership framework. Our affordable housing pillar, for example, is primarily going to be delivered using the PPP model. We also have bilateral partnership agreements to execute several important programs and projects in conjunction with friendly multilateral partners and governments. In addition, multilateral partners and multilateral organizations and development institutions have come on board to undertake critical projects in many sectors throughout the country. You heard the representative of Global Fund mention that we deliberately decided to increase our contribution to the Global Fund from $6 million every 3 years to $10 million because we want to create the partnership with